me was I was walking down the street in Los Angeles on Ventura Boulevard, and I wondered if what I did had any lasting value at all. And a woman who was about 36, 37 years old comes up and says, "I know you," and I'm not on camera, so I'm hardly ever recognized or approached, and which is good. And I said, "Okay," and she said, "I want to thank you for something." And I said, "You're welcome. What for?" And she said, "My father was a high school janitor." And she shook my hand and she walked away. And what the reference was an episode of television where Blake Clark, who played Chet, who was Sean's not great father, comes back to try to bond with him and becomes a high school janitor. Of course, humiliates Sean in the process, but Sean at the end of the episode picks up a mop and mops the floor with his father, and they bond. To be able to have such a far-reaching effect all over the world, not just in America, because it plays all over the world, and to touch people in that way was an answer to a question that I had couched, which is, did we have any real value? And we're very, very lucky with all that's gone on, especially lately, to find out maybe we did, and we're very appreciative.
And I was going to just follow up with what you're asking about the sequel. We're on Twitter sometimes, and I think the most interesting tweets I've gotten are ones that say something about how, and I send them to Michael sometimes, but it's usually, I grew up watching Boy Meets World with my dad, and I'm so excited to watch Girl Meets World with my daughter. And I just think that's such a wonderful, to see how it crossed generations. So I think we're really excited about it. Thanks.
Anyone want to ask the next question?
Well, speaking of like parenting, have you talked to Betsy about some of the things that as a parent on the show that you went through, and have you channeled any of that into working with Rowan?
I haven't, but I haven't purposefully. The thing is, and with all apologies to Betsy and to the entire cast, it is simply in the writing of it and in the conception of it, not the same world, not close. What kids know, what I personally told the first panel, what I personally believe enters very little into how the world works, because I look around and I'm astonished every day at what comes out of the four big screens, the television screen, the telephone screen, the movie screen, and the computer screen. And what kids have to understand in those forming heads, it's too much. It's just too much. To compete on a playground in an elementary school, what they need to know, what they feel they need to know, has to be addressed. It has to be written to. I can't come to Betsy to ask how Amy Matthews would have handled it, because at our most conflictive, she was against the marriage and was happy in the end to lose that. We are so beyond that now, and it's unfortunate. The actuality is, it is a challenge for me and for my writing staff to simply document reality and to do it in an entertaining way that I can slip in a lesson without it being thought of as a lesson. So the short answer is, no, I haven't gone to Betsy because I don't know who I can go to for something like this, because you know what, I'm not 20 years old anymore, and I have to take my own lessons into exactly how far we've approached where we should and shouldn't be in this world. That dynamic alone makes the new show worth watching for me.
Ben, what is Cory like now, and what is Cory and Topanga like now? I mean,
well, we're still figuring it out. I mean, I think that the writing and the show has done a wonderful job of staying true to who we are as people. So what's Cory like now? I guess it's what Ben is like now. But as far as the show, or the new show, you know, it's all being worked out. We're really just, you know, we're taking it one step at a time. We're being very cautious, very careful, trying to honor the old show, trying to, as Michael was saying, work within this new dynamic and in this new time that we're all living in. But I do think that people are not just nostalgic, but are eager to watch a type of show like Boy Meets World. And I don't think that there's a lot of shows like that on TV anymore. And I think that in spite of how much things have changed in the world, people still want a show that they can relate to, that's comforting, that makes them laugh, and that's fun, and that they can learn a lesson from. And so I think that that's what we're working on right now, and we're working really hard to make sure that we can pull it off.
The other great thing about what Ben is saying is that my wife, who's in the back, has adopted Nashville. She loves Nashville. And so I will adopt whatever Patty watches. I'm happy to sit down and watch. And another reason is because of Connie. Connie and I worked together in a short-lived series called Lost at Home, which was Connie and Mitch Rouse. And I know Connie, and I know what she's doing on Nashville. And for me, that's the delight, to watch this person I know. The best television is when you truly recognize someone and can associate with what they're doing. I know Ben, and I know Danielle, and I know everyone at this table. And hopefully I get to write for all of them now, because that to me will be